This is the Carty Method Podcast.
Well, hello there. Welcome to another episode of the Carty Method Podcast. Today, Portfolio Lab. Every Tuesday, I look at your portfolio considerations, things that you're thinking about for your portfolio. Thursdays, I give you a very, very, very detailed assignment. And and by the way, if you stay to the end of today, if you are a Portfolio Lab member, you will actually find out what next week's assignment is 2 days early. So, hope you guys are excited. This is Portfolio Lab. We are starting with the mighty Frank Tom. Frank says, I've been torn about adding this image to my portfolio as a fitness lifestyle image. Was taken on a job for a local trainer in his studio to use on social media, studio posters and cards. I'm particularly unsure about the red tone in the studio. It creates a challenging color environment, and I'm not sure if I addressed this in the color cast. Shot with the R5 28-70 at 65 millimeter, ISO 200, 5.6, 1/200th of a second. Shot with a Pro Photo B10 with a large umbrella and diffuser. Let me take these glasses off so I can see this color cast you speak of. This is Frank Tom. Let's go, Frank. Thanks for submitting. Frank, this is a vibe. The color cast, it doesn't bother me in this picture. Let's look at this as a double. Oh, I had my double page laid out a little bit differently from when I was doing portfolio review for Mr. Charles Fortin. So let me just bring this back to show you exactly what your double looks like. This works for me, Frank. This works for me. Yeah, I have the whole image here. Yep, the whole image. Yeah, this works for me, Frank. It's very, very, very close. Let me just see if I can nail this double frame perfectly. For some reason, my frame is not matching your frame. Make sure that you're exactly framed to 2x3, because you can see here how much my frame is out of the picture here. It's out of the picture just a touch. So, yeah, Frank, make sure you're cropping exactly to your original proportions, because you'll see as I lay this overlay over other people's pictures, it's not extending. Like, I'm not able to get this to line up exactly how it's supposed to. So just make sure that that is, because for me, if I show the bottom of this frame right here and pull down the top like this, that is the frame. So it looks like you're a little bit extra. And I assure you, I have not changed my framing from 2x3. So one thing to watch, make sure your framing is exact. For me, this can go in your book though. This is a dope picture. This can go in your book. This is a yes for me. Tonally, it's correct. It's in focus. I mean, obviously with the trainer, you have to watch where your light source is coming from, because your light source seems to be coming from this direction, but he's looking that direction. So I can tell from where the shadows are going that way. So you're getting a little bit of weird shadows that are happening in here in the eye. I can tell here from where the shadow is going on underneath and over here from the foot. So that's the only thing that I'm seeing is the light that's in the line under his eyes and the light that's happening here. For me, for this particular photo, I would be doing a little bit more of a front light rather than pulling it from the side, because you're trying to balance the light on him and the light on her. I know you're using a large umbrella, but just use that large umbrella from the front. It's going to push your shadows it's going to push your shadows back. Yes, it's going to give a little bit of less possible shape for him on this back eye, but you can adjust it a little bit higher, which will still give you that molding. This is a really good effort for me. This is a yes. This can go in your book. That's Frank Tom, our first 11 of the day. Make sure you check your proportions, because I assure you, my horizontal border doesn't lie. All right, that is Frank Tom. All right, let's see who is next in this submission process. Hey, look, I have a little grid on me. How fun. All right, our next photographer, his name's Ian Martin. And Ian says, looking to bring in some more motorsports content to the portfolio. High winds and a lot of dust made for some interesting opportunities. Let's have a look at Ian Martin. Ian, let's get it on. This is a vibe. The horizon line is a little odd. That's the first thing that I'm seeing, is the horizon line up here with the top of this fence. This is one of those things that I wish you could have got up on a ladder. If you had been able to get up on a ladder, it would have made it so the roof would have been bordered by this dirt, and that would have made that dirt patch a little bit wider. It would have made the road a little bit wider and a little bit less sky. For me, this picture feels much like the last picture that you submitted, which is this up here. This block is not really needed. So it starts to be, let me look at a different crop. So for me, like, this is a bit of a cooler crop. If I show you the double page, like here-ish, I want that to be over, but it won't let me move it. It keeps wanting to center. But I would move, like, I just want you to consider that as a crop. Where you're way tighter and the sky isn't so dominant. Like, when I look at this picture, Ian, when I see it full on, the first thing I see is this railing. Like, there's too much of the frame that is this railing. Like, that's too much. And then I see this sky, and there's too much of the frame that is the sky. So really, there's just a small sliver of the picture that, there's just a small slice of this picture that for me is like super relevant, which is why for me it works way better as a horizontal. And again, I want you to consider, when you're shooting these kinds of motorsports, consider some elevation. You need to be up so you can see a little bit more top down, a little bit more, shows you more of the car. And again, it controls this really radical horizon line of this border wall, barrier wall that cuts into the roof of the car and distracts us. So again, I'm going to remind you, this is your whole photo. For me, too much railing, too much sky. The centering obviously is a little bit off, but the sky and the railing for me bother me a little bit more. What I'd love you to work on is your verticals. You shoot horizontals really strong, but I think it's necessary for you to work on when you're shooting verticals and shooting in the vertical space and working on the non-distractions. I find when you shoot vertical, there's like another picture happening here, there's another picture happening here, and then the car is just placed in the center. I need you to be thinking cleaner, less distracting backgrounds. That, everybody, is Mr. Ian Martin. Thanks for submitting it. All right. Hopefully you guys are having a good afternoon so far. I'm surely having a good morning, good day, good afternoon. This is Vedant Pandey. This is a new photographer. My submission is part of a recent set I shot of a friend of mine who models. This was shot at my home studio in my condo. I normally shoot with strobes, but for this I used only natural light of the setting sun to capture this. R6 Samyang 85 millimeter 1.2 manual lens. Please, no, but like these Samyang manual lenses, it slows you down so much. And on a mirrorless camera with eye tracking, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. You're now like manual. Oh, look, I can focus manual. Like the focusing screen is not designed for manual. Like focusing screens used to do this, like, and line up perfectly so you could actually see your focus. Please replace that 85 millimeter 1.2 manual lens with a lens that autofocuses so you can focus on making work faster, with more consistency for clients. Please. ISO 100 2.5 at 2/50th of a second. Manual focus lenses on an R5. It just like, I have an R5. I'm just like shaking my head. All right, let us see this picture. I have to get your name right again. This is Vedant Pandy. Vedant, thanks for submitting. So you have a nice sensibility. There's a couple of things that you're doing a little bit wrong. First of all, the framing. The model is way up in the top of the horizon line. Like way up in the top of the frame is what I'm trying to say. So if this is a magazine cover, you're a fashion photographer trying to shoot magazine covers. So how does this work on a magazine cover? It doesn't work on a magazine cover because you put her head at the very, very, very top of the frame. So that's the first thing, that we are shooting for a purpose, and that purpose is print. That purpose is to be published. And if you're not locking cover composition in early, these mistakes you'll keep making. Next thing is, what does this picture look like as an 8x10? It crops well as an 8x10, although 8x10 is not a format for fashion. It's more 9x12. Still, 8x10 is what your pictures look like on Instagram. So this is something that you need to know what that looks like on Instagram. The next thing, the reflector in the background, like this reflector in the background, I really wish wasn't there, because it's not like adding to the oomph of the picture, showing us that behind the scenes. If it was a white V-flat, yes. If it was a piece of white V-flat that was like structured and like with a hard edge, but now imagine that reflector in the background not there. Now, again, I see the girl more. But again, I'm going to remind you, the top of her head should be around here. So having her, like, her head is literally cut, like so high up in the top of the frame is a no-no. And the last thing about this frame is the color balance. It is balanced, very warm, like natural light, yes, natural light sun, yes, is warm, but this is balanced too warm. You have to bring back the neutral. Like, look at my skin tone, okay? And then if you look at her, she looks yellow-green. Like, there's a yellow-green cast to her. So the color balance is also something that you have to work on, or the white balance. If you look at her eyes in here, that should be a little bit more neutral. And if I show you your skin here, you'll see what I mean. And also, if I show you your focus here, you'll see that your picture isn't quite as like oomph tack as you thought it was. I mean, it's close, but yeah. This is a very, very good first swing for your submissions. Let me get your name correct again, Mr. Vedant Pandy. Thank you for submitting. I hope that brought you value. Again, please watch your horizon line. You can't drop your subject so high up in the frame. You can't drop your subject so high up in the frame. And just like when you look at, I'll just show you my work and the way that I always leave cover space. Ooh, I didn't on that one. Cover space. And then I'll show you when you actually see that in effect and see the work and how I use space around, because most of the work is going to have copy on top of it. Most of the work is going to have copy on it. So you have to shoot in such a way that you're used to your work working with print. And that means like leaving lots of headspace, because I shoot so many covers. You'll see when I know like editorial shooting, like all of these covers, it's about headspace, cover, headspace, cover, lots of room for the head. Like you can't drop the eyes so high up in the frame. Even if they didn't use this as a cover, I framed it that way. Same with this. So covers and knowing how to do that placement is so important. It's so important. That's something that I want you to practice, is how to shoot covers, because every vertical picture that we shoot is a cover. And also white balance. What I want you to notice when you look at my work is even under sun, and I shoot so much of my stuff natural light, I do not let the color balance, like natural light, studio light. Look at how the skin almost looks like the same. Natural light, studio light, natural light, studio light. So matching pictures, natural light, studio light. Look at the skin and how the skin matches. Again, studio light, natural light. So if you're not, and the same thing with black skin, doesn't matter what color, like black skin, this is studio light, natural light. So you really have to lock that in. This is natural light, this is studio light, and you see the color balance. So that is that magic that you really, really have to lock in. For me, this picture, when I now show it to you, you will not ever not be able to see how yellow this picture is. I hope that brought you value. Van dat, is that it? Van Vedat. Vedant. Okay, Vedant. Sorry, it's going to take me a second to get that. Taylor, you happy? All right, good shit. Let's get it on. I hope that brought you value, Vedant. Let's get into Francis Jeffrey. Francis says, this was shot in South Bend, Indiana, while doing some bird watching. Use a technique learned in college where you use a fast shutter speed and pan along with the bird to get the photo at the right moment. This moment was when the Canada goose was creating symmetry with its wings. Shot at 500th of a second at f8 at 400th of a second in manual mode with my 18-55 at 55 millimeter. All right. So this is Francis. Francis, I think there's a size issue with your photo. This is Francis Jeffrey. Francis, thanks for submitting. So Francis, this is the size of the picture that you sent me, which is too small. I need you to really be following the guidelines as far as all of the photos that you submit. You know, I talk often about taking pictures versus making pictures. I talked often about taking pictures versus making pictures. And I want to show you this, making a picture, coming up with an idea and executing it. This, making a picture, standing here, composing it, like, or, I mean, this is taking a picture, but he's very specific. He only shoots cars. He only shoots cars. And you've seen Ian's work. I'm going to show you again. This is an idea executed. So idea executed, idea executed. I saw a bird, I took a picture. So this is where, if you want to make money from photography, Francis, I say this weekly, you have to execute ideas. Shoot a portrait. That is my challenge for you. Shoot a portrait. Please stop shooting things that you see and thinking that those things that you see are going to be good enough to get you work. Okay. And again, if you're watching with your parents, this is amazing. Do this for me. Shoot a portrait of your parents. That is you executing an idea. Going outside with your camera with no preconceived notions of what you're shooting and then trying to get stuff is going to be an exercise in futility. So I will say again, I want you to watch the other photographers that are submitting here. They are making pictures. Anytime someone takes pictures and tries to think that that is going to move their needle into the area where they're making money. And again, I'm assuming that you've joined Portfolio Lab because you want to make money with your camera, Francis. If that is the case, then you need to shift from taking pictures to making pictures. I made a whole episode on it. It's incredibly important. That has to be your next step because the bird photos are not going to move your needle. This is what we call noise, just something that I could have shot with an iPhone. And this isn't to offend you. This is just, we don't spend money on gear to then snap pictures that we could take with our phone. We spend money on gear to execute ideas that bring value to people, that solve problems, so then we get hired by them to make pictures and then we make money. It's art and commerce. If you are using this just as an art or as a therapy, I completely understand. But if you're trying to make money, understand that, like, oh my goodness, there's a long way to go. You have to start taking ideas and executing them through photographs. The next thing really is that 18 to 55 lens. Your 18 to 55 lens, which is called the kit lens, if you take away that K and replace it with SH, that's exactly what it is. It is a toy. It is a toy lens. And I'm going to show you, like, imagine the quality that you could get with real equipment. Imagine the quality that you could get with real equipment. So I'm going to show you the difference because I think it's important for you to see, Francis, again, the difference between a kit lens and real equipment. Okay, this is an R5 with a 50 millimeter 1.2 L series lens. Okay, 50 millimeter 1.2. Okay, this lens. Now, I'm going to show you what this lens looks like, and also look at the size difference of my body compared to the camera that you're shooting. Now, I'm going to show you this lens versus a kit lens or a shit lens. Now, I usually have one of these thrown in my drawers because one of the camera bodies that I use, like this is an R50. This is an R50. This is an R50. And these cameras that I use, this one here behind my Elgato prompter, I have chat there, and then this other one right there. Both of them have 16 millimeter 2.8. They have prime lenses on them, okay? Because one of them came with one of these, and I'm going to show you the difference. Let's see. This is a 18 to 50, an 18 to 45. Same thing. Okay. This is what it looks like. Okay. This is what it looks like. I want to show you the difference. This is what my lens looks like. Okay. Look. Do you see the difference? Now, this is where it gets really bad. Let me show you the back. Look at the difference. This is plastic. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Do you see the difference? So imagine, what do you think is going to shoot higher quality, sharper pictures? This or this? This is a $3,000 lens. This lens costs about $30 for them to make. They just put it in the box. They put it in the box so you can take a picture that day. Then this is what you're supposed to do. Throw it all away. Or put it in a drawer because then you've bought a real lens. But this is a toy. So if this is what you're using, throw it out your nearest window. Use it as a paperweight, because that's all it is. It's a paperweight. And just so you know where my 18 to 45, 18 to 55 lives is in this drawer. In fact, it's not even good enough for me to use for my web, like as a webcam. It's not even good enough for me to use for YouTube. It's not even good enough for me to use for YouTube. Let me change the size. Oh, how is that getting so hot? Oh, is that set for 4K? Hang on. That's why. I knew it. There we go. There we go. That camera's overheating terribly because it was set for 4K. I forgot. I was shooting with it. Shooting video content with it yesterday. So you can see the difference, right? Just FYI, this is no lens on the camera. That's f1, 1/1, no light loss. When I put this lens on the camera, this lens is a 1.2. So it's 0.2 light loss. Your focal length is a fraction. It's an f, meaning 1/. That lens is a 3.5 to 5.6 or 3.5 to 4.5. So it's 1/4.5. So that's how much light is being lost. Like, it's the difference between shooting at ISO 100 and ISO 1000. Like, that's the difference. And it's plastic. The lens is garbage and it creates really soft, bad pictures. So the whole idea and act of shooting with a kit lens, you're actually just wasting your time. Argue with me in chat. And then I'll have a whole bunch of commenters like coming in saying, oh my God, no, kit lenses, man. Like, I have a kit lens. I make great photos. It's like, of course you think you do. Of course you think you do. Find a professional photographer with 3.5 decades like me. Find one that's been shooting for 5 years that uses a kit lens. Find me one. Okay. Do what the pros do. It's intelligent imitation. Okay. Francis Jeffrey, I hope that brought you value. Understand this. I know that you love photography, but I need you to try harder and do things that are hard. Taking pictures of a bird is easy. Asking someone if you can take their portrait, that is hard. Things that are hard first will be easy later. Things that are easy to do now make things hard later. So choose your hard. You either do it now or you do it later. And again, all of these 18 to 300, 24 to 240, 20, like, oh my God. I open my bag. I have 16, 50, 85, 100, 135, 200, all primes. My 70 to 200 gave it to my brother. And it was an L series. Prime lens, like an L series of fixed focal length, like a f4. Gave that to my brother, like fixed aperture. And then my 24 to 70 sits in my bag, never use it. And it's also an L series and also a $3,000 lens when it was new. So I don't use zooms. Zooms are lazy, and low quality, low budget zooms, they're just silly. All right, this is Gerard Danso. Hello, Sir Carty. My submission for this week's portfolio review. This is a 3-light setup. Shot with the Kios R, 7200 2.8. Shot at f5 at a IS aperture. Okay, you said aperture 5. I don't know what that means. I think maybe aperture priority. ISO 100 at f5. I need to know what your shutter speed is. So, Gerard, it's important that you look what everyone else is doing when they submit. I need to know shutter speed, lens, aperture, ISO. You've given me ISO and aperture. No shutter speed. 8600 with a strip box, 8600 with a beauty dish, and Godox V850 with a cone grip. I also worry about too many lights and not knowing how to place one light yet, but you're placing many. Mr. Gerard Danso. Let's see what you did. Gerard, I think you did a great job. This is amazing. But it's underexposed. It's underexposed, and I'm going to show you how and why it's underexposed. Would you agree that this is black? Would you agree that that's black? Would you agree that this is supposed to be black? Or I think it's black, or you think it's like, would you agree that this is supposed to be black? Yes or yes, right? Now I'm going to show you a thing. Now, if I show you my black, if I show you my black, is my black darker than your black? Is my black darker than your black? Let me show you another. Let's find Yazzie. Let me look at this one. Let's look at this. Is my black darker than your black? Is my black darker than your black? That is exposure. Don't get it twisted. It's exposure. And you can, yes, underexpose black. Yes, you can. My black. You can underexpose black. You absolutely can. And what happens is it looks gray. Another example, black, underexposed. So although the idea is here, Danso. The idea is here. What is not here is technical. The technical, like understanding how to shoot to black. If you did, in this case, there would be no seam between here. This would all be black up until now we saw this girl. Up until now we saw this girl. It would be jet black. Because it's gray, that's where like, it's like, oh, so close, but exposure. So the exposure, when you're shooting, like you need a light meter. You can't shoot studio strobes without a light meter because then you're guessing your exposure. And in this case, you guessed a stop off. It needed a stop more exposure. And also black, like this whole picture is gray. You can even see here in the skin. And again, for you, it's like the idea and like it's such a level up from what you're doing. It's such a level up from what you're doing. Let's look at this. I want the whole picture. Is this the whole picture? I guess it is. Okay, so I think you might be pre-cropping this picture to 9x12. I need you to give me the whole picture, Danso, okay? Give me the whole picture. Let me tell you how it's cropped. When you pre-crop the picture, I can't really see exactly how it's working. The other thing is what she's doing with her legs. Like this is very awkward. And the fact that she's like curling her toe down here, like this looks weird. Like this literally, this looks weird. So, I'm not sure about this stance. Like have just both her legs long. And because you don't have shoes as part of the styling in an outfit like this, you sure shouldn't be showing bare feet. Like just, and you're already cropping here. You're cropping at the knee to make it a 3/4. But then why let her bring her leg and her foot up here like that? Like it just looks awkward. The elbow back, the spray, this is cool. The head angle is a bit high. Remember like shooting underneath here. The light on her face is okay. The sunglasses add a vibe. Her outfit adds a vibe. There's a little bit of wrinkles and stuff here where the bra is. This is close, Danso. This is close, but the exposure makes the whole thing a wash because what you have to do is you have to go into Lightroom and keep changing the density of the black until it matches this, until these two match. And then what happens to the overall picture once you've done that? You're going to have just highlights, just a little bit of highlights, and everything else is going to be invisible, which means too dark, right? Which means the picture is underexposed. And how you compensated for that is you lifted the whole picture, which also lifted the blacks. And that made the blacks no longer black. It made them gray. So exposure, 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 exposure. I'll say it again, exposure. This is so close and would have been closer to an 11, Danso, if that foot and that toe curl thing was out of the frame and the body language was a little bit better and the exposure was a little bit better. But the styling wise, you got this. This is very, very close. Guys, that was Gerard Danso. Thanks, Gerard. Guys, you are watching Portfolio Lab. If you want to be a part of this whole thing that I got going here, where I help the next generation of pro photographers get to that level, it's super simple. Just go to thecartymethod.com and click Portfolio Lab or / Portfolio Lab. That is how you join if you want me to give this type of super deep, detailed, and also the whys, because the whole idea is this is art and commerce. If you're pointing your camera at things and pointing the button, cool beans. That's level 1. Level 2 is executing your own ideas. That's level 2 photography. Level 3 over here, big wave surfing. This is executing ideas for other people. If you don't practice executing your own ideas, you'll never be executing ideas for other people. And oh my God, if you just stay over here where it's safe next to the beach, pointing your camera and taking pictures of birds, cars, flowers, bugs, trees, sunsets, like all this shit that your eyes see every day, all you're doing is competing with iPhones, and you're not bringing value to anybody. You are just fulfilling your own ego. That's it. I saw this. Cool. I saw things every day today too, but I don't show them. I don't show them in my portfolio. Like, I saw things all the time. I see things out there, but guess what? I don't show them on my portfolio, because my portfolio is my professional marketplace where I bring value to one person at one place on their journey, looking for one transformation. I happen to be an editorial portrait specialist. So that is all I do. That is all I shoot. And therefore, there's a market for that. And then I show you all the magazines that I shoot for. Why? Because I shoot editorial, means magazine, portraits, magazine portraits. And then look at all the examples of magazines that have hired me to do magazine portraits. So I'm niched. And because of that, I get work. If you're pointing your picture, like and you'll see how many of the photographers who watch me, the difference, it's like a switch. I say, you start taking pictures, you find me, and then I help you find that switch where then you realize that in you just taking pictures, you're just pushing more noise into the space, more noise, and usually low frequency noise. So that just makes people think photography is bullshit. So what you have to be, and by the way, 86% of photographers fail in the first year, 86%. So if you want to be part of that narrow 14% that don't fail in the first year, you got to be shooting the right stuff. You're wasting your time when you're taking pictures. Execute your own ideas, even if you're executing them poorly. Start with executing your own ideas. So this next photographer, his name is William Sedgwick. Sedgwick says, "Greetings, Carty and crew. I shot this photo session during last November before I joined Photolab. So there's a couple things that I do differently, starting with not using a speed light. I shot this just after sunset. Sony A7 III 85mm 1.8 ISO 100 f2.5 1/200th of a second. This is a speed light in softbox. This is William Sedgwick. William, William, this is cute, dude. This is such a likable photograph. Like this, and also the light is pretty good, bro. Like, this is the thing. Like, you're gonna get a outdoor portable strobe, like I've recommended to you. I have the ML300 from Newer. And you can find all of this stuff on my gear list. If you go to go to stevecarty.com up here and go to gear list, all of my gear, everything that I shoot with, all of my lights are nicely, neatly organized here with links. So please, if you're wondering what I shoot with, just go to my website, go to my gear list. Sedgwick, this is good. This is good. I mean, the focus is good. The tone is good. The time of day that you chose, like the light placement with the reason that this works is it's not a speed light. It's off camera and you use the softbox. So this is studio light, only you did it the wrong way. You did it in a very lo-fi wrong way. Now you're going to do the same thing, only instead of it being a speed light with an off-camera attachment and blah, 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 it's going to be a studio light with a softbox and the same placement. Obviously, you can see he's a little off-center. He's just a touch off-center. It doesn't bother me too much because there is room for copy here. There's room for magazine copy here. His suit, the bow tie, his styling is so great. The hair, this is so excellent. So excellent. This is an absolute yes for me. This is a yes. Now, will this go in your book? It really depends on what type of what type of portraits you're going to be shooting. You know, it really depends on what type of portrait you're going to be shooting. I want you to notice a couple small things. Your horizon line back here. I want you to notice how that horizon line is not straight. These are isms that we also have to fix. Also want you to notice how that horizon line cuts his head off. And there's so much water that we see up here, but the gradient of this sky is so sick. So why not crouch down? When you crouch down, it elevates him, makes him look a little loftier, and it also pushes the horizon line down. Imagine if the horizon line was right here. And then the whole background was this gradient sky, right? Instead, you drop the horizon line and you cut his head off. So these are things that I see and things that I need you to train yourself to see. Always push that horizon line down. And you dropped it in the top third, and you can see third. You dropped it on the top third. I would drop it on the bottom third right here. That's what I would put that horizon line. Now his whole upper is against this sky, and you see just little lapping of water down here. Like, that's the picture. And again, it's close. You're close. So I'm not breaking your balls because I love it. But I am also going to tell you how to improve it. Guys, that is William Sedgwick. Oh yeah, that's an 11, my guy. That's an 11. An 11. Hey, how did that stop? Are you a photographer ready to go pro? Or maybe you're a working photographer struggling to sustain your business? My coaching programs are designed to meet you where you are and give you the guidance needed to move your needle forward. Whether you're looking for a focused 1-hour session to fix a specific challenge, or you need the type of ongoing support that 6 1-hour time slots would give you, I'm here to help you master the systems and build a career that you've been aiming for. By the way, if you book me for one of my ongoing coaching sessions, you pay for 5 sessions and you get 6. basics. With over 34 years of professional experience, I guide you through the key aspects of creating a thriving photography business. Whether that's building a standout portfolio or sharpening your brand, or even setting up systems that bring in clients consistently. First of all, I give you flexible coaching options. Choose a single 1-hour session to get some quick insights, or you can commit to 6 sessions for a full transformation. I can even walk you through my proven systems one-on-one. Whether you're looking to break into the industry or you're struggling to keep your business afloat, these sessions are personalized to focus on what will actually move the needle for you. You're going to get real-time expert guidance, and believe me, there is no one-size-fits-all advice. You're going to get actionable insights and hands-on support to address your unique challenges and unlock your full potential. You don't have to do this alone, eh? Let's work together to take your photography career to the next level. Whether that means finally going pro or creating a thriving, sustainable photography. Why did that stop so abruptly? Guys, when you book me for coaching, if you go to thecartymethod.com/coaching, you'll see that it takes you to a Meet with Carty link. And it's important that I don't just take on anybody for coaching anymore. I actually have to meet you. I actually have to vibe a little bit with you and make sure that you're the right fit for me. And I'm the right fit for you. I think that I don't let people just pay for coaching anymore. We do a meeting first. And then after the meeting, then I send you a link. And if you want to book me for coaching after that, now you have the link to book me for coaching. So go to thecartymethod.com/coaching to book me for a chat, and let's talk about how I can help you. So guys, I'm super hype about our next shooter. This is a new photographer. His name's Courtney Turner. Courtney has been submitting for a couple of weeks. Courtney says, I chose another photo from my set taken at the Jeep Rally event to be considered for going into my portfolio. I especially like this photo because I felt it gave a good sense of motion, something I've always wanted to capture in a photo. This was the first time shooting rolling shots, and I look forward to some advice on how to make these shots even better. Natural light, Z7, 35mm 1.8, ISO 320, 2.2 at 1/25th of a second. Courtney Turner, let's get it on. Courtney, I like this a lot, bro. I like this a lot. I'm like, oh, it's off-centered, but I know you're off-centered it because of the shadow. The shutter speed works for me. The place on the road that you chose to shoot this works for me. Listening to your shutter speed, honestly, Courtney, listening to your shutter speed and your aperture and your settings, and I'm like, oh no. But then it's like, oh yeah, you're doing a rolling shot. You're doing a pan. So all your settings really made sense. Okay, let's look at this front up. We're missing the focus just a touch, Courtney. Like, we really need this grill to be wicked sharp, so we can see this black American flag inside the grill. You can see when I zoom in, this isn't sharp. And again, the reason is because you went ham on aperture and shutter speed. Now let's go back to your readings. You shot with a 35mm 1.8. Okay, so you shot with a wide open, but you shot at 2.2. Why the fuck are you shooting at 2.2, bro? Why are you shooting at 2.2? Like you're shooting a portrait when you're shooting a car. A car is from front to back, like how many meters long? So you need the car in focus. So you shoot at a deep aperture. You want the car to seem like it's moving. So yes, slow shutter speed, but you're shooting this car like a portrait. So you're asking how to make this better. Don't shoot products like you're shooting people, which means don't shoot bokeh, shallow depth of field, or any of that shit. Shoot a car at f8, at f11, because you want the car to be in focus, front to back. So this picture at first glance is like, wow, it's so cool. But then when you look at it, you're like, wow, the whole car is out of focus. The whole car. And you know what? That's the only thing that's important in this photo is the car. And for photographers, the only job that we have is to create, I mean, we have lots of jobs, but the number one requirement for a photograph to be shown publicly is it's in focus. Everything else is a dud. Everything else is a dud, and you have to lock that in. So submitting an out of focus picture, i.e. dud, to me means like when you're shooting this, you look at the back of the frame and you zoom it into 1600% and you see, oh, this is out of focus. Okay, then you shoot another one and you shoot more and you shoot more. And if it keeps happening, you ask yourself, why is this out of focus? And then you check your settings and you're like, 2.2. Wow, really wide aperture, really shallow, and the car's moving and I'm moving. Wouldn't shooting at f11 give me more tolerance? So more of the car is in focus, but the shutter speed creates the blur. So that is what you do to make it better. Okay? I hope that brings you value. And again, Courtney, products demand f-stop. And always look for references. Always look for references. Look at Behance. Look at rolling car shots and find heyo, Michael Steinmetz with the super. Thank you, Mike. Ian Martin says 1 mile an hour for shutter on rolling shots. What do you mean 1 mile per hour? 1 over mile per hour. Dude, you just broke my brain. 1 over miles per hour. So in other words, if he's moving at 50 kilometers or 50 miles an hour, you shoot at 1/50th of a second. If he's going at 20 miles an hour, you shoot at 1/20th of a second. That's what he's talking about. Let's go. Well played. And Ian Martin also explained that. I mean, really, you can, that it works well for, or I would also say the same for kilometers. Just do the same. If they're going 40 kilometers an hour, do 40th of a second. If they're going 60, do a 60th of a second. Like, just do the same conversion equally, Anton. And for I'm Canadian, so I do kilometers as well. I just know both. I know both readings, whether it's kilometers, like let's say 55 miles an hour, like you guys driving the highway, that's like 110 kilometers an hour here in Canada. All right, guys. Mike, thanks for the super chat. I appreciate you. Mikey, drop in the $4.99 if I didn't already put that on the screen and hit the like on that. Thank you. Appreciate you, Mike. Let's get into our next shooter. And by the way, Courtney, I hope that helped you. Again, it's a great shot. Guys, you are watching Portfolio Lab. If you want me to dive deep on your work, please have a look at thecartymethod.com/portfolio lab. The thing that's also amazing is I meet up with you once a week on Zoom. We do it on Thursday. It's a Portfolio Lab workshop, and I answer questions about everything, answer questions about gear, I answer questions about absolutely anything. And speaking of gear, I brought a piece of gear to show you. Okay, wait, I gotta hide this. And when I bought this new, angels actually flew out of the box. So let's set the tone. This, is an anniversary edition 1991 Hasselblad 500 cm classic. This is the camera I photographed Burrell on, Tom York from Radiohead, Phil Collins, Roger Moore, Beanie Man, Bounty Killer, so many more. My most prized possession. I bought it brand new in 1991. I bought this in a box. So when you see like the wear right here, that is from my face being here because you look down. It's a waist level finder. So, oops, that camera's off. It's a waist level finder. So you look down. I can take the back off and show you this. Also, the shutter is inside the lens. So if you look here, let me just show you this. You see apertures and then shutter speeds on top. So right now I'm shooting at a 60th at 2.8. I'm going to turn this, and also this is no batteries. There's no batteries in this. This is done all with springs. So we're going to go to a 1 second exposure at 2.8. Watch this. The shutter is not this. This is just the leaf that opens to expose the film. The shutter's in the lens. Watch this 1 second exposure. And then when I open this, watch the aperture open. You see that? That's the shutter, not the aperture. That's the shutter. That's the shutter. And then this is a shutter cranking and the shutter going back. It's a leaf shutter. And the thing that makes Hasselblad so special is I can sync flash at any speed. So I can shoot flash at a 500th of a second because the shutter opens like this instead of opening up and down like modern cameras do. So this is priceless. This camera cost $3,500 in 1991. So it's priceless. And also it's so limited, you cannot buy an anniversary edition 500 cm. Like if you find one on eBay, it's like, $20K. For me, it's invaluable because this is actually my camera and I've had it the whole time. My baby. We'll turn this back on. Maybe this is warmed up now. Are you chilled out now over there, camera? You were overheating. Are you cool now? I had you on 4K. All right. So this is Juan Herrera. Juan says, hey, Carty, I'm debating adding this image to my portfolio. I'm debating. So, and it's men's portraits. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks. EOS R 24-105, shot at 70 millimeter, f13, 125, ISO 100. One strobe, large umbrella. This is Juan Herrera. Juan, this is nice and neutral. I mean, it's a strong picture. I'm just watching how your placement, your light placement for me is a little bit like if I'm drawing your diagram and this is you here with the camera, your light is really coming in a little bit hard from that side. And because it's actually shadowing the inside of this eye, yes, you are giving me Rembrandt lighting, but it's like that pocket of light. That pocket of light you see is low. That pocket of light is here and it's quite low. Meaning like I would want that pocket to kind of be somewhere in here. But what I'm showing is this eye and how this eye is kind of shaded on the inside. I think you went too radical with the light. I think you went too far to this way with the light. I mean, skin retouching is great. It's a very competent picture. Like, I don't want you to get me wrong, Juan. It's a very competent picture. It's strong as a cover. It's going to work as an 8x10. Like, it's strong that way. I just want you to notice this guy, he has deep set eyes. And his eyes are deep set, but the balls of his eyes actually protrude quite a bit. So because of that, like this kind of face, he also has a really strong jaw, right? He's got a really strong jaw, but because you lit him from one side, we're losing how strong his jaw is because you didn't light him from the front, top-ish, to give him more rock jaw. You lit him from the side. So for me, the lighting that you chose for this face is not necessarily the right light. It'll pass, but I'd love to see you reshoot this with your light instead of being from here. Your light is, your light is from here coming in front. And what that looks like from this way, here's your subject, your light's coming in down this way. And again, it's going to hollow out this. It's going to give him that rock jaw. It's going to hollow out this. It's going to give him that rock jaw. It's going to push a little shadow under here. It's going to give this, and like you're not going to get that half light, and it's going to give you just a little bit of a dip there. It's going to make him look like Iron Man. So for me, you miss, like, the light is nice. It's just not the right light for this face. That's all. And the more experience you get lighting, and again, I can talk like this because I've been doing this for 3.5 decades, but the more you get experience with lighting, the more that you like catch these kinds of insane details. But still, Juan Herrera, this is a strong image. This is a strong image. I just want you to see the nuances the way that I see it. I mean, I look at photos, it's like looking at the Matrix, bro. I just see things a little bit different than most. I hope that brought you value. All right. Hey, this is me. I said, this is me right here. This is me. And also, this is me.
Treat everybody like a superstar. Famous people less like a superstar. I treat famous people like real people. I started as a photographer, I would say professionally, when I was 20. My brother's a fine art painter, heavy influence on me, and I couldn't paint. So when I discovered the camera, it was really easy for me to express myself creatively. Everybody's in the business of glorifying celebrities, so capturing them, it's already glorifying them by photographing them. So if I can get them a little bit more understated, I feel like it brings up the real. In 1997, I shot Tom York from Radiohead, most important picture of my career. In 2001, I shot Pharrell Williams for Peace magazine. Again, very important picture. Colin Firth, a week before he won his Oscar, career moving pictures where that picture propels a whole new wave of clients, a whole new wave of people looking at my work. I think pivotal career-changing pictures are more important than favorite pictures, because they're all my favorite. The whole idea is make good stuff and share it and do it every day.
Well, hello, welcome back. This is Lamont DeSalle. Lamont says, hey, Carty and crew. Lamont here. I did a recent editorial with some fellow creatives and shot this image for Salem magazine based in Amsterdam. Never heard of Amsterdam. Let me know if this image should replace something that's currently in my portfolio or just a good addition to it. Z6, 50mm 1.8, ISO 400 f10 at 1/25th of a second. 32-inch beauty dish and a Godox 8600 with 18400 fill in a white umbrella. Behind me to the left. 2 side grids, and you got a lot of lights here, man. Like, I gotta just see what you're doing. I can't, like, when you're talking about this, draw me a light diagram. If you want me to know about the light, I can see the light just by looking at it. Let us see Lamont DeSalle. Lamont, let's get it on. Thanks for submitting. Using a whole lot of lights, and I don't think a whole lot of lights are showing up here, to be honest. Like, I would do this picture with one light. Maybe if you want to cancel some of the shadows, for me, it's body language here. But this is very close, Lamont. This is very close. Let me look at this close up. Let me look at this close up. She's looking a little bit far away from camera, like she's turning her face too far away. I mean, yes, we are getting a true profile, but eye contact is so powerful. I'm not married to the outfit. The velour, it looks costumey. It doesn't look high fashion. It looks costume more so. For me, I would really be like working with or watching the stylists that you're working with and make sure that they're not jumping the shark. She's also wearing 2 different shoes as part of this. And again, I'm not going to miss anything. FYI, did you notice that she was wearing 2 different shoes? You, the photographer, I'm sure, but you at home, when I was doing this, just scanning this picture, did you notice that she was wearing 2 different shoes? So the 2 different shoes, like it feels, it's bordering on, good for you, Stem. That's amazing. It's bordering on, yeah, it's bordering on costume. Also her stomach, like she's not like breathing in here. So her stomach is punching out just a little bit. This leg is a little thicky to have this as like the main leg forward. Yeah, this girl, she's a little bottom heavy to be a model, and a little bottom heavy to be in your book. The idea is great. It's just, you have to figure out a way. She looks great up here, but this is so thicky that like, it's like if she has an agency, you have to be dressing her in such a way that's like not overemphasizing how thick she is there. And again, it's not like, I'm just talking models are between size 0 and size 4. You have to fit the clothes. It's not the other way around. Yeah, for me, there's a couple of pictures, there's like the styling, a little bit about the pose that you're kind of missing me. For me, I want you to start working with different styling. I'm on the fence. This could stay in your book, maybe, but it would go quickly. This shoe also doesn't fit. You can see the gap there. That shoe's not fitting her properly, or she has to push her foot back in it because that toe seems to be okay there, but it's too big. So there's like that's all styling stuff. Like all of those inputs that I'm giving you, that's all styling, right? So you can't say that that's out of your control because you picked the stylist. You allowed her to be in your space. You allowed her to be in your building. You allowed her to dress your models. Color composition wise though, like you do have such a beautiful sense of color composition, Lamont. Like you get color, like you get how to use color more than most people who shoot and submit to this program. So because of that, like let's now lean in on the weaknesses. The weaknesses are sometimes the poses, the body language, and the things that you allow your stylist to do. So be more scrutinous when it comes to the clothing that you shoot. For me, I'm ruthless. All you need to do is watch one model, 4 looks. It's like it's my latest on location thing. I dropped it earlier or last year, I guess, when it was still nice enough to shoot outside. It's in my making photos playlist. Blue sky, girl leaning up against the railing, blonde hair. Watch that. That girl's a little too skinny, but you watch me direct her and you watch me pick her clothes. So Lamont, for this photo, I'm giving you love, but it's not quite good enough as where we're trying to get you. That thicky, I know you might be like, dude, that girl's not thick. It's like, as a model, she's thick. She's thick. Ask her agency. All right. This is Mr. Daniel Van Cleef. Daniel says, hey, Carty and the gang. I haven't been submitting for a little while, so here we go for my portfolio. This is Joanna. She makes her own clothing and designs jewelry. Her boyfriend's a photographer, and more work with them will follow. I will do a Substack on them as they're part of a personal project I'm doing on people who have small businesses here in Portugal. Shot outdoors in their garden. It was sunny. Fuji X Pro 3 50mm, 320, 250 to the second, ISO 320, 250 to the second, f7.1. This is Mr. Daniel Van Cleef. Daniel, this mixed light is really hard to shoot in, but you made something here. I want to look at this closely. it's almost like you achieved a Rembrandt light within, like, with natural light. It's always hard when you're shooting mixed light because these shadows are so hard. Like, these face shadows are so hard, which makes it like, I mean, you see how nice and golden her skin is in this area versus how harsh and puffy her skin looks in this area. For me, like, that's screaming shade. Shoot this face in shade. Now, I know you wanted to shoot her in the garden. But what I would do is I would take her down here and put the sun, like put a tree in front of her and then shoot her in that way. So even if it was bright, there's no sun hitting her face because the sun is only in the right time, like 2 times per day. Like the first 2 hours, the last 90 minutes, the last 2 hours. Like if you're not in that window, the sun's in the wrong place all the rest of the time. And open sun, open sky as your source is really harsh. And it's like, but again, like you're walking this line because when I look at it small, when I look at the face small, like it's so close to being like yes, right? It's so close to being a yes. But when I look at it at 100%, when I look at it at 100% again, for me, that's like where it starts. I start to lose it. And the lines underneath the eyes here, the way the highlights are burning out, how hard these shadows are, like this kind of stuff, these shadows here, this shadow across the nose here, like this is what I'm looking at. Like when you see it close up like that, if this was a portrait, you'd never shoot under that light because it's too hard. So when you're doing environmental and including full length, again, oh my goodness, I keep doing this. Apologies, my shortcuts are not working. When you do it this way, again, the thing is there's shade down here, right? It's just, she's in this pocket of sun. I would have like stepped her so her body was all shaded and then exposed it for the shade. Daniel, this is so close, bro. This is so close. I want to see what else you shoot with these people. And I'd also like you to shoot her again. And I want you to be thinking about shade. Shoot open shade. Open shade on skin is, I made a whole video on it. And it's so, open shade is so flattering on skin. Like this is open shade. This is what it looks like on skin. This is open shade where the sun is behind. This is what it looks like on skin. Open shade. I used a mirror actually to light his face. I put him in shade and then I reflected a mirror back on him. But open shade. So that Daniel is something that I want you to really lock in, and just how when you don't let the sun hit the face, what happens? When you don't let the sun hit the face, that's what you get. And it's so much more flattering than when it's mixed light. It just gets harsh. So try and try again and show me again. This is close. And you could use it in your book. I just think I want you to shoot some open shade stuff from me, and you tell me with the same subject what you prefer, and then you decide. Daniel Van Cleef. Daniel, again, I'm still giving you an 11 on this picture, bro, because it does have a certain kind of magic. The eye contact, it does have a certain kind of magic when you look at it at this size. It's beautiful. I went this far without turning on my heart rate, so you find people can see if I'm freaking out or not. I've been pretty calm today. All right, let's see who our next photographer is. This is Anton Duras. Anton says, hey, Carty and crew, this is Malacca Straits Mosque by sunset shot as a shot, Malacca Straits Mosque by sunset, shot as a cover of a magazine. Looking forward to your feedback. Sony a6600 with an 18 to 50 Sigma, ISO 100, f9, 3/20th of a second. This is Anton Duras. Anton. Thanks for submitting, Anton. So, Anton, for me, the framing of this, I know the rest of your work, it's not at the level that I need it to be in order to be in your portfolio. It doesn't hit as hard as it needs to be. For me, this may be a horizontal, like I'm really begging to see what's that way. I'm kind of begging to see what's that way. The building is like the decay on the building. It's not, I'll just zoom in so you guys can see what I'm saying. Like the decay on the building, sometimes quaint, but in this case with this framing, it's just not good enough. Looking at this up here, like I know your work, Anton. Oops, this slideshow business. Stop that. Stop. I know your work, Anton, and I know what you have in your portfolio already, and I feel like this is below your bar. It's below your bar. You have things that are so much stronger than this. I know it. I've seen it. I've judged it. The framing of this, it doesn't hit as hard as it should in order to be in your book. So this one is a no for me, Anton. And again, like I'd love to do with you what I did for Charles Fortin. And you see how Charles' book came together and how quickly it came together, right? So that is Anton. And again, Anton, the only reason that I'm saying no is because I know what you can do. I've seen your work. You've been submitting for so long. This is just not at the level that you can deliver. Yeah, you're just way better than this. All right. So the hard thing is within your own work, telling the difference between an 11 and a 7. You know what I mean? It's like that's hard. And that's why I do Portfolio Lab. That's why I do one-on-one reviews. This is why I do, you can book me for portfolio reviews. Like someone else has to look at your work because sadly, you're the worst person to judge your own photography. You're the worst person to judge your own pictures. You need a professional to judge your pictures. This is why I come in. And by the way, my photos, I have people who help me when I can't decide. I have people who help me, and I have a lot of experience judging my own stuff, but seeing other people edit my photos is always a pleasure for me, which is why I let other people tell me what they like from my work before like I do my final edit, like clients and such. All right, let's see Mr. Joseph Baldwin. Joseph Baldwin. Let's look at Joseph. Hey family, I wanted to share what I'm working on, capturing product on figure for Converse. This was originally meant to be for a recent ideal client spec assignment, but I had to reshoot it. Now I'm considering adding it to my portfolio as I work on mastering double page compositions. EOS R 50mm, shot at a 30th, 5.6, ISO 400. Shot natural light. This is Joseph Baldwin. Joseph, this is close, bro. This is really close. Let me have a look at this as a double. Is this my whole picture? Yeah, for some reason the framing on this, Joseph, isn't exactly right. Again, I'm not sure why. Can I make it slightly smaller? Yeah, you can see the framing doesn't exactly match the double. Yeah, I guess it does. You didn't really change it. Okay. So then when I make it full, oh, that is full. Okay. There you go. Ignore what I said. Okay, Joseph, it works well as a double. Small things that I see. Okay, small things that I see. I feel like the step is the wrong foot. Okay, I'm going to break your brain. The step is the wrong foot. We don't ever show the inside of the shoe. We show the outside of the shoe. I mean, here shows the typical Chuck Taylor, but it also shows it here. So this is a tricky one. The blur, like I would like to see this with no blur is basically what I'm trying to say. I want to see this picture with no blur. And also I want to see this foot forward. So this one forward and this one back, like doing this heel motion. I want that to be the back foot. And then no blur. And then the last thing, you can't clip the heel and you can't clip the toe. So all, like that, and you're a little claustrophobic down here, like really claustrophobic down here, too tight. The jeans rolled, the Michael Jackson socks, the deck, all of this is really dope. Consider maybe a newer deck that's not so beat up, maybe newer grip tape. You know what I mean? Like small things, but I want to see you shoot this again. And remember, you got to reverse the foot. Wherever you're standing, the front foot has to be your main. So this foot has to be the main foot. This foot is the secondary. Because if you imagine, if you go up here, you're actually seeing crotch. Because this back foot, this front foot is back, which then opens the crotchical area. Which means if you put the front foot forward and not the back foot, then it covers the crotch, which is just a secret when it comes to when you're shooting people in step and you're shooting it from the side this way. It's always the front leg first. So, guys, Joseph Baldwin, this is close, bro. Close, but not quite. Close, but not quite. But almost, bro. I just want you to shoot it again. Shoot it one more time. Make sure you're shooting it at an f-stop that we're getting both, or at a shutter speed that you're freezing those feet. Consider also bringing in strobe. Consider bringing in strobe. That's also something that you can do, is bring in strobe. Guys, that was Joseph Baldwin. So close, Joseph. Again, I hope you know that I'm judging you against you. I'm also judging you harder because industry standards is where I'm trying to get you to, and industry standards are high. And I can't lower industry standards to be like, no, that's okay. It's like, no, we have to keep working until we're meeting industry standards. So it's not just me that's going to be validating you. The industry will validate you. The industry will validate you. So, yeah. Again, lifestyle deck, it should still be not so beat up. It should still be like like I have a prop deck, but I keep it really mint. Like I keep it really mint. Like there's no tricks on it and stuff. Like it's just for pushing, but the wheels are all nice and the grip tape is all nice and the edges are all nice. And it looks like not a brand new board, but a new board, which is what works for product photography. So, yeah, I used to have that in my background as a prop. I used to have that deck like leaning up here, but I kind of wanted my set to be a little bit more different. So I moved the skateboard. All right, guys, that was Joseph Baldwin. All right. Hey, you know what? I have the dopest merch ever. Watch this. This podcast is brought to you by Carty Crew merch.
Every piece you see, designed by the photographer you're currently watching. And let me let you in on a little secret. Meticulously hand-stitched by the arthritic grandmothers of our very own viewers.
Well, what?
This creative community inspired this entire line. Your zeal
Okay, I
for
didn't write that.
artistry, your tireless dedication, and your individuality shines in every stitch and design. This isn't just another piece of clothing, it's a badge of honor for every creator out there. From what I see here, they are mostly just black t-shirts and hoodies, but you do you, boo. You actually want me to read the rest of this script?
Oh my God, who is this guy?
From the nuanced patterns to the vibrant colors, everything has been designed keeping in mind the creative soul that lies within each one of us. Wow, who wrote that? There isn't a single pattern, not one.
Oh my God, leave the
There is
commentary.
hardly any nuance. But it says
Oh my
here,
God,
this
this
merch
guy is a
represents more than
trip.
just apparel. It's an emblem of our shared passion for creativity. Who wrote this? What absolute twaddle.
Wow, this guy's a great supporter.
All of this stuff is kinda basic, to be honest, but I'll keep that to myself.
Okay,
Let the world know you're a part of something bigger. A photographer on YouTube's clothing collection that he actually has the balls to make a commercial about.
okay, what
Sorry,
is going
what
on?
I meant to say is, a collective of photographers that celebrates and uplifts every form of creativity. I am aware, as the narrator, I'm not allowed to insert my own narrative. But, holy moly, this is horrible.
Wow.
Join the movement, embrace your creative spirit with Carty Crew merch. And yes, he is really calling this a movement. Be proud of your passion for photography. Be proud of your creative life. If photography is your life, flaunt it. The one paying for this advertisement has asked me to make a toast. Isn't this a podcast? Okay, it'll cost you another 20. Let's raise a toast to every photographer, artist, and creative out there. Thanks for being a part of this journey.
This guy's so
Did that suit you?
patronizing.
That was absolutely ridiculous. Please don't make me read anything like that again.
Back to the show. Natalie just told me everything's sold out. So let's just fix that. If my collection, sometimes I make my collections limited. So let's change that. Oh yeah, it was just until February. February goes quick, man. February goes quick. Seriously. So let's make this not sold out. How about that? We'll make it start now. And we'll make it end. There. How about that? I'll give you more time to buy this collection. Yes, change. Yes, change. And then do not mark the product sold out. Save. Hey, there you go, Natalie. So thank you for catching that, Miss Natalie Murdoch. I have fixed. The photographer's collection is back. Yeah, it's back. It's back. I mean, there's definitely some stuff that's sold out, but I apologize for that. You can go back to the Carty Method shop. Check it. It works again. The link. All right. Rock and roll. Guys, that's an old spot. I'm going to make another one, but you guys seem to love that spot. You love that spot with my AI voice who's giving me shit. That was fun to make. I'm going to make another one of those for sure. Something a little different. All right. The Carty Method shop. You can use code CartyParty to get 15% off anything over $35. CartyMethodShop.com. TheCartyMethodShop.com. This is calligraphy. My submission for this week's portfolio review. Z8, 85mm, ISO 100, 2.8, 200th of a second. Shot with the Westcott FJ400 strobe. This is calligraphy. Let's get it on. Calligraphy, I love this. This is a vibe. I just want you to watch your contrast so you don't go too far. We're losing a little bit of his back eye here. We're losing a little bit of his back eye. I just want you to watch what you're doing in post so you're not going too far. You can see, like, you're really crushing your blacks. Like, too much. I'm going to say again, too much. I want to do, like, this is how to process raw with you. Because this is something that I've been working with you for a while, but you're still doing too much. to your post. You're still doing too much. You're still crushing your blacks. You're still doing those same things. I'm wanting you to do next to nothing so I can actually see what you're doing. You're doing too much in post. I feel like there's sharpening, there's clarity, there's stuff that you're still doing. The light placement is a little high. This guy also has really deep set eyes. So the same thing that I said earlier, deep set eyes, they don't lend themselves well to that side light. They don't, because you can see in here how half of his eye is lit and then this other half of his eye just goes into nothingness. And the same is in here. And in fact, the color of his eye is actually fading into that shadow because you've crushed the black so much. So that is something that I'm seeing. And also the hand on the chin looks very placed. It doesn't need to be there. It doesn't need to be there. We don't, like, if he's pulling his beard or whatever, still for this particular shot, just have him have his hands down. The way that his hair is inside his hat is causing a lot of flyaways. So again, just for the next time, have him like do like a little tuck. Because again, you're shooting it against a white background, and black hair on a white background is going to be the same as blonde hair on a black background. So you have to like either clean, and it's really hard to clean up in post. So do your best to clean it up as much as you can before you shoot. This is close calligraphy. This is very, very, very close. I'm going to give you an 11 on this. Hand on the chin. Again, it looks too much like, it's too much like that. So we just don't let a guy do that. As soon as he does that, just be like, who told you to do that? Don't do that. You know what I mean? Like literally something different. Like he's like, or this, or, you know what I mean? Like there's, you can, if you're going to go, it's got to really go with expression. Shoot him like this, like yawning, like do something that's like, if you want an expression, but it can't be this. It can't. Got to go further than that. This is the mighty calligraphy. Again, it's still an 11, my guy. It's still an 11. It's definitely a level up, but again, I really want to like strip down what you're doing with your processing. I want you to notice when you're shooting subject with deep set eyes that you're not to light them from the side. Light them from the front to fill those like vacancies where their eyes are supposed to be, because they're so pushed back. These are the things that I notice when I see faces. It makes it really awesome being my girlfriend, as you can imagine. I notice everything. I notice everything. Sometimes I wish I could just like, I mean, I have to let a lot of things slide, but you know, to me, it's hard because I see everything. You know, baby, you can't wear that dress. It's like, why? It's like, don't make me. don't make me. Why? Well, it's like, it's not hugging your hips right. The length is wrong. The way that that's flaring is not flattering. Like blah, blah, blah is not like a thing anymore. Like I just like list. And then now you're pissed off at me. So don't ask me. You know what I mean? Yeah, anyways. My girl has good style, but she loves to hold on to things from like days gone by that like some still hit. Others, oh my God, no, please don't wear that. So yeah. This is Mikey Steinmetz. My boss asked me to see what I could capture while we were doing the inspection. She wanted to use them for the company website. I got some good ones that I know are keepers. This one I was on the fence with. I couldn't bring any lights in, but if I can show what she is going to arrange to, like, if I can show what I can do, she's going to arrange one of our clients to let me set up properly. R8, 50 millimeter 1.8, ISO 800, 3.2, 50th of a second. This is with machine room lights. So he has no control over the lights. This is Mikey Steinmetz. This is a proof of concept. Guys, Mr. Mike Steinmetz. Let's get it on. Mike, yes. Like, yes. And imagine if you could light this. But yes, compositionally strong. I mean, obviously it's top light, right? You're dealing with like pot lights that are pushing down light from the top. So obviously you're going to get really ugly shadows. But for her needs, like for the commercial needs, this is a yes for sure. The exposure is a little low. So although you're using shit light, you still can make sure that we match the exposure. I want you to remember that this hat is likely white and not gray. So make that snap just a little more, although it could be gray. It actually could be a gray hat. It could be a gray hat. I still think it needs to pop a little bit more. If it's gray, Mike, you're probably going to tell me it's a gray hat. It could pop a little more. But overall, compositionally, cover, composition, 8x10 for social media still works. Obviously, we would just take this and pull this down just a little bit. It's white, Mike says. Okay, so I'm not going crazy. So it just needs a little bit of exposure. That's all. It just needs a little bit of oomph, which is fine. Like you can definitely do that, and you can do that in post. Also, the headlamp on would be another cool thing. If the headlamp was on, it would give just another little bit of dynamic where you're shooting in this corner. I mean, this is for inspections. This is for your company website. Like, and the fact that like, this is the bridge that I've been hoping for, starting with your company and then now you doing this for other companies. So we're on the right trajectory. Just give me this exposure up just a little bit. Here's another idea. Make this picture black and white. Make this picture black and white. And now it's removing all the sharpness from it, and we just see compositionally what he's doing. So that's the second thing, is when you have bad light. Look, I'm doing my best Trump. This is bad light. This is what I say, bad light. You know, when you're using bad light, like black and white is a great way to counter a situation when you're shooting with bad light.
I hope that makes sense to you, Mr. Mikey Steinmetz.
Guys, that is Mike. Again, as a cover mic, yes. Just the practical applications here. I mean, I can't talk about the distractions in the background. I can't talk about the stuff that's on the wall. I can't talk about, like, because of what the purpose of this picture is for. This is a yes for me. I know what it is that you're trying to do. I know who it is that you're trying to serve. I just want you to now elevate this a little bit with exposure and black and white. And then imagine if it was black and white, then you can put the text is what pops on top of this stuff. It's not the colorful clothing and that kind of stuff. Like, obviously you need to wear high vis stuff, but for showcasing it on the website, it can be black and white, which will actually make it even more impactful. Hope that helps. Mikey Steinmetz. Well done, Mike. All right, guys, you're watching Portfolio Lab. If you don't know me, I'm Carty. I've been a professional photographer for 34 years. It's going to be 35 years next month. 35 years ago, I registered my business, like my photography business. I registered my name, Steve Carty. I'm a creative. Okay. This is our last photo of the day, guys. This is the mighty Nick Johnson. Nick says, a shot from a recent session with an up-and-coming metalcore band to promote shows and their soon-to-be released EP. The color palette matches the album art. They wanted an overall moody, broody kind of vibe with one splash of light to highlight the vocalist and contrasting color. They were ecstatic. I noticed after the fact, the f6 at the guys at the back were just a bit soft because he shot at f6. A byproduct of the optical spot cutting out so much, he thought he could get away with the 5.6. Next time I'll bump the ISO and shoot f11. Fortunately, no one pays attention to the drummer and the bass player, so it's okay. R5 Mark II 50 millimeter 5.6. He shot it at 50 millimeter 1.2, but he shot it at 5.6, a 60th of a second, ISO 100. Hey, Jazz and JD, thanks for subscribing. 2 strobes, 1 standard head with a blue gel bounced off the ceiling, camera right. Another with an optical spot, orange gel. All right. So this is Villains in Vain, releasing music this week on Spotify and YouTube. This, guys, our last photo is Nick Johnson. Let's get it on, Nick. Nick, this is dope. This is dope. There's definitely a vibe here. These guys are going to be thrilled. I just ordered the thing that does this. I just ordered this, Nick. So I love this. It's a vibe. I think you could up the exposure just a touch overall, the overall exposure just a touch. I feel like the exposure on this could have also been just a touch up, and the placement coming in from the top rather than coming in from straight, because I feel like this is coming in straight rather than hitting him from the top because it's falling off there and it's hotter down here. And also the other idea obviously is to turn this strip, which is vertical on him, horizontal, so it goes across these 4 guys that way. That's obviously the other idea, but I shoot bands too, so I got these ideas kind of cooking too. But this is dope. Let me show you this as a double. Is that the whole picture? Yes, let me make it a little smaller. There you go. So yes, you can see it's just a touch tight on the gutter. With the double page spread, we do have a little bit of room to like space in between and bias like these 2 and then these 2 and leave like the kind of gap, because you can see you have tons of space there to move back, and you have some space here and some space here to move back. So I would just leave this guy here, push this guy over a little bit, push this guy over a lot, and push this guy over a lot. So you have his nose off that gutter. But overall, Nick, this is a fantastic idea execution. Great light. And I like it. It's very, very, very close. This is a yes for me. It's a yes for me, Nick. It's great. I mean, it's idea execution. You're shooting like you're actually doing what you came here to do, which is you went from not being a professional photographer to being a professional photographer and actually doing some legit jobs now, Nick. So I'm proud of you. I'm proud of your growth. I do have a podcast on my episode. Like, I do have an episode with Nick where I talk about how he found me and all of that stuff. Got to talk about that episode a little bit more, Nick. Maybe we'll bring you back in for another episode to talk about your successes through the Carty method. Guys, that is the end of our show. That's the end of our show. I guess you want to know who won Photos of the Week, though. Photos of the Week? You want to know that? Let's talk about Photos of the Week. Photos of the Week. Let me look to see who has done it for me this week, and if in fact there is a best in show. Let's see who has done it for me this week, and if there is a best in show. Yeah, I got it. Okay, here we go. You want your photos of the week? Starts right here. Big swings. This guy wasn't even sure if this should be in his book, and it ends up being a photo of the week. Let's get it on. This is Frank Tom. Congratulations, Frank. That's a photo of the week, buddy. Very, very well done. Well composed. Well shot. Remember all the critiques that I gave you, but again, it's nothing that you need to stress about for this picture. It's what I want you to be thinking about for the next one. Very, very well done. Taylor, how we doing? She's thrilled. All right, well done. Well done. All right, Taylor, she's tripping. All right, that's our first photo of the week. Our next photo of the week goes to William Sedgwick. William, that's the photo of the week, buddy. It's just right, you know? It's just right. Well done. It's a photo of the week, buddy. Well done. That's William Sedgwick on a photo of the week. Now, again, I'm incredibly hard on you guys because I know where you're going. I know where you're going, and my expectations are up here. So, this next photographer, I gave a huge critique on this picture. Huge critique. But still, it's a photo of the week. This is Juan Herrera. Juan! It's a strong photo, bro. It's a strong photo. Again, like I just said to the last photographer, you can use this photo, but the next time you light this face, it's going to be different, and that's going to replace this photo. So I'm excited. Thank you for submitting. That is Juan Herrera. Well done, Juan. Who else did we have? So close, so close, so close. Yeah, you know, I'm going to be a bit freer. Here. Maybe a bit freer. Okay? Because again, although I'm incredibly hard on these shooters, there's still like, yeah. Photos of the week. Meaning the best photos of the week. This is Lamont DeSalle. Lamont, it's because I'm hard on you. It's still photo of the week. Very well done. Very well done. And again, also everything that I said. Will it be in your book once you do the next thing? We don't know. But again, this is why we shoot. This picture, again, I was also incredibly hard on this photographer, but only because I know what he can do. Simple. Only because I know what he can do. And Natalie, I missed a photo from you this week. Where's your photo, Natalie? This next photographer, it's pretty hard on, but this is Daniel Van Cleef. Daniel, it's a photo of the week. I know what you were doing, Daniel, and it holds up. And I can't like be so harsh with you. This is a very special picture, but I know that the tips that I gave you during this critique is going to make the next time that you shoot this lady such a beautiful experience. So, yeah, photo of the week. And this photographer. He's going through some tough times. I'm always hard on him. But he is one of the brightest lights in this community. And I always want to acknowledge. And I'm acknowledging this because despite all the shit that this man's going through, he is still producing. He is still producing, and he's still producing at this level. Ladies and gentlemen, your next photo of the week goes to the one they call calligraphy. Well done, calligraphy. Well done, my bro. Well done. You know, I want to see some other edits. I want you to keep doing reps. I know you're going through a bunch of shit, but I'm here for you. You got this. Calligraphy Ridgely. And we got a couple more. This photographer I've been working with since the beginning of the year. It was really hard to find this guy's niche, the way that he explained, like, and the way that we've now developed him into a photographer that he's adding to his current work. Like, Mike is a high value employee. Like, he's not trying to be necessarily a full-time photographer, but he is trying to add photography to what he does, and he's very creatively using what he knows best, which is tools, building, inspections, and he's making work within that space. Guys, your next photo of the week goes to Michael Steinmetz. Mike, well done, buddy. And in fact, Mike actually has a Substack where he talks about his quest every week for photo of the week. So it's always a pleasure. And again, I don't give it to him just for that fact. I give it to him when he earns it. Ask Mike. Ask Mike, he'll tell you. He definitely doesn't. And he gets shit if he doesn't stay the course, you know. But this week, other than just flipping this to black and white and upping the exposure, and do me a favor, Mike, do those two things and then post it to Lab Chat so everyone can see. Very well done, guys. That is Mike Steinitz. And our last and final photo of the week, people, goes to Mr. Consistency, Nick Johnson. Congratulations, Nick. Very, very, very well done. Give me the applause. 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 There we go. Nick, well done. That is yet another photo of the week. And I love the technique. And it's so funny. We're on the same tip. I just ordered that like focused spot beam. It comes like hopefully tomorrow. I want to shoot some self-portraits with it. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So yeah, this is I've been investing so much in gear. Holy moly. You should see all the stuff I have here. So forget about that. I'm going to let's talk about this week's assignment. Because you made it to the end of today's show, I tell you what the photo of the week is and what the assignment is next week. And although the assignment is not posted right here, right now, which is not great, I am going to find it and then I'm going to post it. But what this week's assignment is a back cover. A back cover. And actually, I have that information because I just sent it to Garan. So let me just find it. Where is end page? So this is this week's assignment. I'm sorry for the delay. I need you to shoot, it's called a back cover, or we will call it an end page. Now, the whole idea of an end page, it's the final image in a magazine. It's the back. It's not the back cover because that's usually an ad. It's the picture that's on the, like when you open the back cover, the one that's, and both, like the cover is going to be an ad on both sides. But that last editorial image really makes a statement. And understanding the editorial end page image is a thing. You really have to understand it. And how you understand that is by literally looking at end pages. Let me just describe. So I want you to think of the end page in a magazine as a back cover. I want you to think of it as a visual punctuation mark. Okay, I'm going to show you an end page right now. Watch. This is an end page. This is a behind the scenes view. I'm not looking at camera. Imagine this as a vertical space. That could be an end page. It's a behind the scenes photo of me like working on something that, like, imagine it's more than an afterthought. It's a statement that bookends the whole editorial narrative. Publications use it to subtly echo a theme that was introduced on the front cover, or to offer a quiet reflection on the story that has just unfolded. It could be the back of a head. It could be the rear view of a car. It could be a behind the scenes moment that shows the subject in a less composed, more candid state. It's a creative way to leave an open-ended question or a feeling of continuity rather than a definitive conclusion. Okay? So this is why learning how to shoot an end page matters. I want you to think of an end page editorially as the magazine's outro. When you make pictures for an editorial spread, you're building a cohesive visual narrative from the front cover, which makes a bold, attention-grabbing statement. Like, imagine, this is the cover. This is that front cover. Me straight up, relatively cropped, very non-distracting background. Like, this is the first impression. While that last page, it gently tells the reader a story is ended, or it gently tells the reader a little bit about the story behind the story. In some cases, it continues in that spirit. The image is usually simpler, quieter, more understated. And the shift in energy from a feature spread or cover story to this end page image acts almost like an epilogue. It brings closure. It brings a last bit of spark of reflection, or it adds a little bit of a playful note. You know, like the end page, it's artful and difficult. The end page image tends to be a stylistic or a tonal bridge between the editorial concept and the reader's imagination. It could be an abstract detail, like the silhouette of a model walking away, or a meaningful object left behind that encourages the readers to fill in the blanks. Other times, it's directly a nod to what's happening in the magazine, which provides a sense of continuity. If it's a feature about fashion, it could be the model exiting the fashion show, exiting the set, or showing the lights and what happens behind that we didn't get to actually unlock in the editorial. So I want you to be thinking, rather than meticulously crafting a staged moment, I want you to be thinking about spontaneous. I want you to be thinking about like magic. I want you to be thinking about something that just bridges that gap, that ends the book, but is just that little bit more, you know? And again, the back of my head as the end page, the back of the magazine, like a portrait of somebody, but you shot the front of their face, but for the end page, you shot the back of their head. So imagine the front cover is their face looking, but the end page, you shot a picture of behind them, or you shot their feet, or something that is just gives you that little bit more. So I encourage you to experiment with this back page image. It is so fun. This end page image, I really want you to play with this and try hard, try soon, so you could submit to peer review lots of images, so my team can help you get to the end. And again, if it's going to be a sunset, it's got to be more than just a sunset. A sunset isn't enough of a bookend. A sunset can be a snapshot. How, if you're going to shoot a sunset, are you going to editorialize it? How are you going to editorialize it? I'm tired of seeing sunsets. So you're going to show me a sunset. It better be like, you better editorialize it some way and figure out a way that you can fit your niche into that sunset. It only works if it applies to your niche. And the reason that Charles' sunset picture works so well is he had two people walking through it. That's why that picture is just boom. It hits so hard. If it was just the sunset with no people, yawn. All right, guys. So, how many likes do we have here? How many likes do we have? Tell me how many likes we hit, because I want to end this show on a banger. I had 50 people, but those people who stopped watching, they're missing the boat. Okay, so the 40 people who are watching right now who haven't hit the like button, even if you have hit the like button, hit it again. Do this for me. If in the next 2 minutes I get 40 likes, meaning every single person who is watching this has hit the like button, I will gift 5 memberships to the people who are watching right now. I'll gift 5. So I'm waiting. We're at 31 right now. Ding, 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 ding. I'm waiting. Yeah, and again, I have my team reporting back how we're doing on likes. And also, by the way, consider becoming a member. Membership is $5 a month, and I'm going to be doing some members-only content. I do members-only content sometime on Thursdays. Thursdays, we do a nice little hangout on Zoom, and members get to watch that. What are we at now? 38. Just need 2 more likes, guys. 2 more likes. It's not a lot to ask. 2 more likes, and I will hit you guys with 5 memberships. Five memberships cost a lot of money. That's it's like $25. Where are we at? 1 more. We're at 39. Let's go. Steinmat says we're at 39. 1 more. And then I am getting generous. Let me know when we hit 40. I'm excited. I got it open. Please hit the like button. Please, I'm desperate. All right, guys. Guess what? It is time. First, let's set the mood. Where's my... Set the mood. Lights first. Let's do these magic lights. Where's my Philips Hue? Let's set the mood. Set the mood. Okay. Smoke. Set the mood. Okay. The lights. You ready? Here we go. Gifting 5. Let's see who got. Ding, ding, ding. Hey. Look. Oh my God. Jordan is crying. Michael Jordan is crying. Oh my God. It's crying Jordan. Because, I cry sometimes. I'm making fun of myself. Don't you see me making fun of myself here? All right, guys. I gifted Dino Mike. You got a gift, Dino Mike. I gifted Kid Noir. You got gifted, Kid Noir. I gifted Tay International. You got gifted, Tay. Jesus Ugueto. You got gifted, Mr. And Contrast Cinema. You got gifted. All got gifted memberships. Big love to all you all. Welcome to the Carty party. Welcome to the Carty crew. Look at how calm I am. My heart rate, it's all chill. I'm in the 70s. But it's not going to be in the 50s, bros. Because, come on. I'm alive. And I'm awake. And I'm broadcasting. So it's going to be vibes. So, guys, I do these live streams Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Tuesday and Thursday is Portfolio Lab. I know you want to join. It's the dopest shit. It's super easy to join. Just go to thecartymethod.com. You will see Portfolio Lab on the top bar. Also, I know you want to watch and hang out with me on Zoom on Thursdays. Thursdays, you got to be inside Portfolio Lab in order to get that link. Portfolio Lab people get that link. It's inside the meetups in my community. And we talk portfolios. We talk websites. We talk marketing. We talk getting jobs. We talk quoting. We talk so much stuff related to the business of photography. It's such a gift. You should definitely be there. So, guys, what do I say? That's at the end of the show. Why are you still watching? It's over. Thanks for watching.
live stream was brought to you by Pixpa, the best website builder for photographers and creatives, and Indie, the best way to run your freelance business, and by you, the members and subscribers of the Carty Method. Consider becoming a member for $5 a month to show your support for our content, and we'll reward you. You get members-only content every month, and Carty has the best emojis on YouTube, and you'll get that crown badge next to your name. If you're building your photography business, make sure you join Portfolio Lab. How ready are you to be a pro? Take the Carty Method Pro Photographer's Readiness Scorecard. You'll always find helpful links in the show notes. Sharing is caring. If this content has brought you value today, share it, clip it, post it to your socials. Curating and sharing helpful content makes you an expert. Even if the content you're sharing isn't yours, be a curator and share this content with your network. Find your creative and business genius with the Carty Method.
I just noticed that I didn't have stream control on for you guys today. I apologize. That was an oversight. I normally always remember, but for some reason today I didn't. I apologize. I was wondering why my heart rate wasn't showing. Guys, I hope today brought you value. Again, if you've became a member recently, you're going to see your name scroll across the top of the screen. I handwrite everybody who becomes a member across the top, at least the last 25. And if you've discovered me recently and hit the subscribe button, you're going to see your name roll across the bottom of the screen at the end of every podcast, as I like to do. I hope this brought you value. I hope this brought you value. I hope this is making you see how having an instant feedback loop for your photography makes you better. And even if you're just watching at home as an observer, just watch how good these photographers are going to get over the next few months. Guys, thank you so much for watching.